This is Jared Horak for today's RacingDigest.com, and my Today's Racing Digest video series continues. Saturday, June 8th, 2019. It's Belmont Stakes Day, and I'm going to give out 3 best bets on the Belmont Stakes program, including the Belmont. But we're going to start with the third race from Belmont Park, the Easy Goer Stakes for 3-year-olds, a mile and a 16th on the main track. Number 2, Dreammaker, is one that I've always liked. But he's a bit of a head case. I don't really trust him. Sometimes he runs a good race, sometimes he doesn't. Typically against graded company, he struggles a bit. Ran okay last time, but I don't trust him in this spot. Your morning line favorite is number 6, Always Mining. He had a 6-race win streak snapped in the Preakness Stakes last time. He made a middle move, just couldn't keep up with that kind of company. This is an easier spot, but he's not the only speed. During that win streak, he had a lot of easy trips up front. Number 5, Majid, is going to go out there with him. So I think those two will go out. And Majid has won 3 in a row for trainer Rudy Rodriguez. He's getting better. And I think he's going to pester Always Mining in this spot. And it's going to set this race up for number 4, Outshine. He should stalk the pace, and he should be right behind those two for trainer Todd Pletcher. And he added blinkers earlier this year, and he was a much better horse. 7 furlong allowance win at Gulfstream Park on February 10th. He got a 138 today's Racing Digest final rating. And then he was a good second behind Tacitus in the Tampa Bay Derby, getting a 149 final rating. And he had a terrible start in the Wood Memorial. He was wide, outer post. Just draw a line through that race. So now John Velasquez is going to ride. He was aboard for both of his victories. As I said, perfect stalking trip, probably in store for this one. Outshine is my top choice in the Easy Goer Stakes. Let's jump over to Belmont Race 7, the Grade 1 Acorn, 3-year-old fillies, 1 mile on the main track. Maybe a horse you can use underneath, number 6, Proud Emma. She's 20-1 morning line. She adds blinkers. Flavien Prat's going to ride. Her speed figures are slowly improving for trainer Peter Miller. I think this 1 mile around one turn is a good distance for her, and I think she can rally and hit the board, but I don't really like her on top. I think the pace is going to be contested in here. Number 1, Serengeti Empress at 5-2. I don't like her in this spot. She's a need-to-lead type. If you were going to play her, you should have played her when she was 13-1 in the Kentucky Oaks. She was able to get out there. It looked like there was a lot of pace on paper. Nobody showed speed. Serengeti Empress was able to get out there, and that's her MO. When she can get out there and control the pace, she wins. When she doesn't do that, she doesn't win. I don't think she's going to control the pace in here. Number 3, Cookie Dough has speed. Number 5, Fancy Dress Party. Number 7, Guarana is 2-1 in here for trainer Chad Brown. This one broke her maiden in the slop on April 19th, getting a 147 final rating. She could be really good for Chad Brown. We'll have to see how good she is. We're going to go with number 9, CC. This one's 9-2 morning line. She ran 2 times at Santa Anita, and she ran well both times, getting a 123 final rating in her debut, and then a 129 final rating in a clear place finish second time out. She drew a perfect post for this. I like these horses in these long sprints around one turn from outer posts. She's got some tactical speed. Victor Espinosa is going to ride back. She has a bullet workout for this on May 31st. There's a lot to like about CC in the Grade 1 Acorn, and Guarana is going to be my second choice for sure in here. Maybe Cookie Dough can run a decent race for Karen McLaughlin. And then, as I said, number 6, Proud Emma, use her underneath. Finally, let's do the Belmont Stakes. It's going to be race 11, a mile and a half for 3-year-olds on the main track. Probably Tacitus or War of Will, the 2 most likely winners, but I don't like War of Will in here because he exits the Preakness. Typically, the Belmont Stakes is won by fresh horses, unless a Triple Crown is on the line and you have a horse with Triple Crown ability. They can win the Belmont Stakes after winning the Preakness. But horses that exit the Preakness don't really win the Belmont. If you look at the 3-race series altogether, horses that exit the Kentucky Derby win the Preakness many years. But when they come back, now the horses that exit the Preakness and run in the Belmont, they don't have nearly as much success as the horses do exiting the Derby and running in the Preakness. So War of Will is going to be overbet off of his perfect trip from the inside post behind the speed in the Preakness. Preakness was not a strong race. The speed figures did not come back strong. Everfast was second. He's now 1 for 11. Prior to the Preakness, he had lost his 3 races in a row by 43 lengths. So I don't like War of Will in here. He should sit a good trip, but he's going to take too much money. Tacitus, I think, is probably out of those 2. He's the one, and he's fresh, but we'll get to him in a minute. Bourbon War also exits the Preakness. He's taken the blinkers back off. He's one that doesn't really win these stakes races. But I think he can rally and possibly hit the board if you like him. If you're going to play a Mark Casse runner, maybe you want to play number 7, Sir Winston. He's a price. He had a much improved race when he finished second in the Peter Pan at Belmont Park, the local prep for the Belmont Stakes. He can rally. I think he can hit the board. A win might be a bit of a stretch. Both Todd Pletcher runners look solid. Number 6, Spinoff. Number 8, Intrepid Heart. Intrepid Heart with an outstanding Belmont Stakes pedigree, and he's lightly raced. Spinoff, his speed figures were going up in every start prior to the Kentucky Derby. Outer post, wet track, wide trip, draw a line through that one. So Spinoff could certainly go better. Intrepid Heart, lightly raced, could certainly improve. But I think Tacitus is by far the horse to beat in here. His last 3 CPR numbers, the CPR for today's Racing Digest is the comprehensive performance rating, which takes into account pace, final time, and closing fraction. It's a strong number from a stamina standpoint, and his last 3 CPR numbers, 142 in the Kentucky Derby, a 147 in the Will Memorial, and a 135 in the Tampa Bay Derby. Any of those numbers could win, especially his last 2, and especially the Will Memorial. Tacitus won't be way back in this race. Some people think he's this deep closer that's going to come from nowhere. He's not. He's going to be sitting within striking range. I would expect Jose Ortiz to watch War of Will. He's just going to sit there. He's going to keep an eye on War of Will. I think he's going to stay within striking range throughout, and he's going to go past that one and win the race. You would hope that they don't run 1-2. I think the way you got to play this race is you either if you do like War of Will or Tacitus, you have to throw the other one out and hope that some other horses come in. I like Tacitus. He's my strong pick in the Belmont Stakes. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Who do you like in the Belmont Stakes, or who do you like in some of the other races? Outstanding program at Belmont Park. Today's Racing Digest, the complete digest, tons of information for all the races, including the Belmont Stakes. Get that complete digest from Belmont Park at todaysracingdigest.com. My full card analysis also available at todaysracingdigest.com. It's there right now. Belmont Stakes Day, all 13 races, wagering strategies, pick 4, pick 5, pick 6 tickets, best bets, everything's right there. Comprehensive coverage of the Belmont Stakes, including all of my Belmont Stakes tickets, win, exacta, trifectas, and superfectas. You can find all of that at todaysracingdigest.com. That will wrap up this week's video. We'll be back next week with another stakes race from around the country.